Hey folks, were you able to see this? All right, I'm going to read it for you. Oh, the screen went blank. Let me light it up for you. Here you go. Can you see this ad here? I'm being targeted for a colonoscopy, which is a good thing, right? We all need colonoscopies. But what's interesting is I'm being targeted by my colonoscopy provider. I actually got a colonoscopy recently as a male over 50 with a father who had colon cancer. I am at higher risk, so I took care of that. And ever since I took care of that, I've been getting ads targeted, offering me, encouraging me to have a colonoscopy. At first I thought, well, it's kind of creepy. I mean, I understand ad tech, and I understand I'm going to see ads. They might as well be relevant to me. I'm not paying for Facebook. Are you paying for Facebook? I understand that the price is ads that are relevant. Advertisers don't want to pay a lot if the ad is just generic. If you're young, you probably don't need a colonoscopy unless there's some special factors. So why should you be getting that ad? So the fact that my age is in the system puts me in the bucket. But here's what was interesting. Did you know you can, if you're curious, like I was, how are they doing that? They're probably not using my personal information about the fact that I was a patient there. That would be a problem probably under HIPAA. How are they finding me? So if you look at your the ads you receive on Facebook, a few others, but Facebook does a very nice job about this. And I say, why am I seeing this ad? And here's what it says. One reason you're seeing this ad is Capital Digestive Care. They were actually pretty good. I recommend them. Wants to reach people who are recently near their business. All right. So what are they doing? They're targeting people who are near their business with a promotion saying, hey, you haven't used up your deductible, or maybe you've got money on your benefits card. So before the end of the year, no referral needed. Come in and get a colonoscopy. So I was thinking about that, and I guess if you're nearby, you say, well, great, after work, I'll make an appointment. But of course, the odd thing is, they're also therefore getting people who had a colonoscopy there who are kind of getting creeped out saying, why are you sending me ads about my colonoscopy? I just had one there. They're actually just trying to reach people who are nearby. And of course, they've got no way to exclude the people who actually had them because they're not uploading that information to Facebook. So why do I talk about this? People are always interested in understanding, why are they getting ads? Is it too intrusive, or is it useful because it's personalized? And here is one that maybe somebody generically might have seen, and they wouldn't think about it twice. They, oh, look at that. That place is telling me I should get a colonoscopy. That's a nice reminder. And maybe some lives will be saved because enough people do not. And early detection is so critical when it comes to colon cancer. On the other hand, for me, it felt a little creepy because oddly, I was one of those people that had a colonoscopy at this place. And it seemed like it was tied to me when in fact, it is not tied to me. It is tied to anyone who was recently near this place. Now, how do they know that I'm near this place? I've got my location turned on, therefore Facebook has my location. And so anybody who was in this zone, anyone who was in the zone of the location of this Capital Digestive Care, they've geo-fenced, and you can buy ads if you're a business or store to retarget people who were in that geo zone. So it becomes a little less surprising or unexpected when you actually take a look. So I encourage people, and if you actually don't like that, like, hey, why am I getting those colonoscopy ads? They bother me. I don't need one. I had one. You can tell Facebook, don't show me this ad anymore. I don't like it. It's too spammy. It's not relevant to me. But most interesting to me is they will tell you why you're getting that ad. Now, Europe has just passed this deeply detailed data protection law, which comes with many requirements for transparency. So perhaps you will be seeing others doing what Facebook here has been doing for some time. And I urge people to look behind the machinery. It becomes a little less surprising when you know what's going on. At the end of the day, I think kudos to you guys at Capital Digestive Care. Thank you for the colonoscopy, which went well. But frankly, this is a message that does need to get out there. It might be easy to say, hey, you guys shouldn't advertise, you do something sensitive, it's health related. I only want to see, ads for other types of activity. But at the end of the day, this is an important message. And if we're spending our days online, this is a real effective way to reach people and encourage them to go to some place that's nearby. Now, it would be really cool if in a couple of years when I need to go for another one, they kept track and I started seeing reminders, hey, time to make an appointment. I don't think they're that sophisticated yet. One of the other reasons why I wanted to talk about ad tech is, if you'll look in the comments, actually, I'll put it right under the post here. We'll edit it under the title of the post. We'll link to a blog post put up by the European Data Protection Supervisor, Giovanni Butarelli, phenomenal guy. The European Data Protection Supervisor has privacy data protection jurisdiction over all the EU institutions, the agencies of the European Union, but also plays a very important advisory role for European data authorities and for companies and consumers throughout Europe. He did a blog post today talking about how ad tech has gotten so sophisticated, right? I mean, there's that ad showing up with information about location and colonoscopies, and in the blink of a second, advertisers can get a message and count it and have reporting about how many times people clicked on it. It's a very sophisticated system. It's almost like a Wall Street stock market trading where this stuff is happening in a split second. And he wonders whether that ingenuity, the millions and millions of dollars and the thousands and thousands of people who've worked on these systems to get them to the state of the art of where they are today, turning some of that energy to privacy engineering so that users can have super sophisticated, really easy to use, really effective controls might be a useful idea for privacy engineering to seize hold of. So he references an event that we are doing in Leuven, right outside Brussels, for those of you who are in Europe for the IAPP or for some of the other events that are happening, that his office and us here at the Future of Privacy Forum, Carnegie Mellon University, which has a phenomenal engineering program with a big focus on privacy, and the University of Leuven, who will be our hosts over there. So we are looking forward to that, and I appreciated Mr. Butarelli's reference to the speed and sophistication of ad tech. Can we bring some of that to bear to help users here? The last thing I want to talk about today is a recent report that we put out. Law enforcement access to student records. We're all aware of the repeal of protections that the Dreamers, the young kids who were brought over by their parents, whose status was protected under the previous administration, even though they may not have legal immigration status. They were brought over as young children. They have nowhere to go back to. They're making lives here. They're in college. They've got jobs. They're contributing. If they've done something terrible or bad or committed crimes, they lose that status. But obviously most of them have not and are valued participants in our society. The current administration rolled back those protections, but said, Congress, please come up with protections. But there's great risk. We don't know what will happen. So many institutions, many schools have students, high school, college students who are Dreamers, who are in this status. And the questions that they've been asking us is, what happens if the federal government or law enforcement shows up and says, hey, give us a list of all of the undocumented children. We need this. We're taking action. We're deporting people. We're looking to find them. We want to find their parents, perhaps. And we know they have a kid here. Can you confirm? Do they have to reply? Can they legally say, no, I'm not cooperating. I think what you're doing is wrong. And in our report, we explain how immigration information is typically covered by FERPA, the Federal Privacy law that protects student data. This data is typically a student record, and that means that if law enforcement says, can you help us? We'd like your cooperation. It's very important. You can say, I'm sorry, this is protected by federal law. Now, if they come back with a court order or a warrant that a judge has approved, you got to cooperate or challenge it back in court. But they have to have gone to a judge and secured legal process, had a judge say, yes, this is actually necessary. Simply asking or demanding or ordering does not entitle them to get that information, and schools should be aware of that. If you're a company that provides technology to schools, an app or personalized learning tool, you are covered not only, of course, by the obligations to treat the data the way the school tells you, and if they say they're not turning it over, it's their data, it's their decision. But if law enforcement comes directly to you, some of that data may often be covered by ECPA, the wiretapping statute, where communications cannot be handed over, again, without legal process. Otherwise, anybody could sort of spy on your school email or the like. The providers are obligated by law to not share that information with anyone, including law enforcement, again, unless they have the appropriate legal process. So we'll post a link to that report as well. And if you're in the school system or a teacher or a principal or a student, frankly, who's interested, we hope that will be information that's useful to you. So hope this was a useful privacy update in our weekly Privacy TV, and we'll see you next week.